Welcome back to Tennessee Frugal Craftsman. I am trying to build a chimney. I am not a mason, and I'll admit that right up front. But I have done some brickwork before, built flues, but not, mostly inside at a C-block, cement C-block. This is going to be brick, and it's got a long ways to go. So I have started it. I mortared the flue liner in, or the sleeve in, a couple nights ago. And what I did here is I actually took a mini grinder. I marked where it comes into the flue liner, and from that other side, I had it laying down obviously, I used a hose, my friend and I, and we ground out that circle almost perfectly. Then I used high temperature sealant there to seal it into the flue liner. And then down here I cut a hole in the liner as well, so I could get in and clean. And so I've got, that's the hardest part, is getting all those holes in and the clean out and everything. But I've got 2, 4, 6 runs. Right now what I'm doing, because I have my bricker over there, I've got a lot of half brick, 2/3 brick, and then I've got a pallet of full size brick. This is stuff I salvaged a couple years ago. So what I'm doing is I'm running a line or two of solid brick, and then I'm putting a line of the half, and that will give me, more coverage with the brick I have. I think I have enough to do it, everything. And so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to take it up above my floor line of my deck, because there's a deck on here. So I'm going to take it above the floor line, and then I'm going to let it dry. And then I think what I'll do is I'll wash it off with some muriatic acid up to that level, and just kind of keep everything clean. Probably would be fine without it, but I'll see what it looks like here moving forward. Hardest part was getting in here next to the retaining wall, but we can get it going. I'm not overly concerned what it looks like is here on the back. Eventually someday I may close it in, like put a building around it, especially up on the deck level. I don't know, depends on how it looks. I know you got to allow airspace around everything for combustible reasons. Now what I did here, because I am basically below everything from there down, I filled in solid, because that is below the flue line, or where the smoke is coming up. But from about this point on, I'm going to start leaving about an inch, 3/4 of an inch or so gap right around it, to allow for airflow, and for purposes of allowing the liner not to be in direct contact with my outside brick. So that's where I'm at. I'm about ready to mix another mix of mortar, so I'll bring you along when I get that ready to go. Okay, before I start putting the rim joists around, because I'm now up past the level of the floor of the first deck, I want to see if I can clean this up using some muriatic acid. I got some concrete or mortar mix all over some of this, so I'm going to try to clean it up. So we're going to do a before and after. Okay, I wasn't as cautious in here because that's where the rim joist is coming out, or the floor joists are coming out, but I did try to clean up the best I could above and below. Learned something really quickly here. When I was mixing my mortar, I was keeping it, you know, not really runny, but I wasn't as cautious about getting any of the mortar on the brick, because I thought, you know, I can just wash it off with because hasn't set that long. And for the most part, that's true, especially up here. I did this last night, and at least the two blocks up here, and it for the most part did come off fairly easily. But the stuff that I did on Saturday, I mean, it's set pretty good. And so I'm getting ready to do this next wall. So I'll set up here. And again, what I'm thinking, moving forward, I'll probably try to be a little more judicious in the way I sling my mortar around. Especially up at eye level, when I get up there a little higher on the decks, because I'm going to try to clean up as much as possible my messes as I go, so I don't have so much to clean up later. Of course, I'm not a bricklayer. I don't claim to be a bricklayer. I'm just doing this for myself, so something I'm learning quickly. So for those of you doing this, who've never done it before, might be a good idea to take your time putting the mortar in. Okay, a little over an hour, maybe an hour and a half later, it started raining, so I put my camera away. But I went ahead, scrubbed all of this with muriatic acid. Like I said, learned really quickly, I need to be careful when I'm putting that on, because it doesn't come off as easy as I thought it would. So perhaps like I did here, I put these couple on last night, and so before it's set really hard, I've got a chance to clean them up, and they come out fairly nicely. Now these ones, like I said, that were sitting a little longer, I scrubbed a little harder, but these are in underneath of the deck. They'll be accessible. I mean, obviously this is going to be up probably about 3 feet, 3.5 feet, so I can get in and get at my clean out from in here, from this angle right here where the ground drops off. But moving on up, I will be a little more cautious with that. But, you know, a little bit of elbow grease and it does come off. I'm up there almost 5 feet now. My chimney's probably going to be 30 to 32 total. So I've got to do that about six plus more times. It is what it is. As I always say, I'm getting there and I'll work away at it. You can see the pattern that I'm going is up 3, every third one I'm putting a row of halves. That's allowing me to use my half bricks that I have, so I won't run out, because I've got a pallet, a full brick, and then behind it I have another pallet of half bricks. So we'll get it. We'll get it. I think I'll finish this video out. My next step is to put the plating for this first deck on, because I'm going to build the rest of the next 8 feet of chimney actually off the deck, so I don't have to use scaffolding in this precarious area with all of these drops here. So that's the plan, and so I'll be looking forward to that. One of these days I'm going to be done decking and building on the outside, at least for the framing, but as I always say, it's been slowed down a lot. So appreciate you joining me. If you would, please like and subscribe. Until next time, as always, you have a great day.